Hello and welcome to the weekend reading vlog of June. I say, as there wasn't one in May, in which I read one book over the period of the weekend. It is the Friday before I'm supposed to record this. Usually I record this portion a week early so I have time to try to get the book from the library. Whoops. Normally, recently, TBR, not doing that this time. It's kind of similar. We're spinning a wheel, number random generator spinning wheel version. There we go. Apparently that was hard for me to say. Last year I did a whole entire vlog where I had a random number generator pick, I think 5 books? 3 or 5 books. I don't remember which one. That's how I read Junkie for the first time. Wild. And it would select one of random books on an Excel spreadsheet that I made of all the queer books on my TBR. So I went through and I edited it. Took any I knew that were SMP, any that I had read since then, and any that I knew were part of vlogs that I couldn't replace. So basically any for the fish vlog, right? And you are seeing that list right now. It's over here. I'm gonna move to the side so there's room for it, right? That is that. It is 137 currently. I hope I got them all that meet all that criteria. Who knows? But similar thing, except this time I got a spinning wheel. I had too much fun doing this. I didn't actually do anything. I just input numbers, but I like this aspect more. So it's gonna just do a giant pop-up. So I'm just gonna spin. We're just gonna. I have it too far to the side. I recognize this. Is that an 80? Oh boy, okay. Excuse me as I pull it up on my other phone that I just charged to do this. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, one, I spelled Sarah wrong, but I Kiss Sarah Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. I would like to note the last Casey McQuiston I picked up is One Last Stop that I DNF'd. And I haven't heard, like, anything about this book. Most people just pretend this book doesn't exist. From what I understand, most people love Red, White, and Royal Blue. Valid. Me too. A lot of people don't like it's very polarizing for One Last Stop. It's either people don't like it, really don't like it, and some people really like it. It's like one or the other. And then because that no one talks about this one, I may do a redo. Oh, give me a minute. Hi, we're gonna do the wheel again, and I'm gonna explain why. I looked at the content wordings. I didn't even check if it's SMP because I saw the big giant symbol that Stargraph has that if you have like a specific thing you don't like to read about, mine is outing and bullying. It will tell you. It's got like heavy, I read the synopsis or glimpse of the synopsis. It gave bullying, but definitely also apparently did spell Shara. It's Shara. I thought it was Sarah. Whoops. But it gave bullying. But definitely had like homophobia, a bunch of other things. But I also had outing, and I don't read anything with outing in it, so I'm gonna remove that from both my TBR and also that list. So nope. We're just gonna click the remove choice button, and we're gonna do this again. I'm putting this back over here, I guess. I'm very entertained during this. I like watching this spin. 41, okay. Okay, we can do this. Hello, I have good news for you. You don't have to do the wheel again. The Darkness Outside Us by Ellie Shriver? That's me trying. Is number 41. It is not SMP. It does not have outing on the list of content wordings, at least the main big ones. So, you know, there's that. Do I know anything about it? Not really. I know it's a space sci-fi and gay, and I do kind of like space stuff. I do like gays in space. I've had good luck with them in the past year, but I do like gays in space. So, there's that. It also is available on Hoopla and Different. So, you know, let's go. I can do it this weekend. That's what we're going with. What was this experience? Why? Anyways, that's what I'm gonna read this weekend. I will update you Saturday night at some point, or when I reach 50%, whichever one happens first. Hello, hi, it is Saturday night. I'm updating you. I didn't get the 50%. I read the first chapter, which is 17%, 14? 17. One of the two. Right? I think it's 14, but maybe 17. I don't remember. We don't need to talk about that. Long chapters, not my favorite. The way that it sounds, I think basically if I were to read it with my eyeballs, it's split up into parts, with an update when it jumps time, with how many tasks to do on the ship, as like the header to know how much time has jumped, right? But the book follows Ambrose, who is stuck on the ship, without much memory because he somehow went into a coma for like 2 weeks. And he's on a mission to save his sister from, like, beginning of a colony thing, because Earth is dying, and she was chosen to be basically the first person to test out if this other planet to be colonized and whatnot, and terraformed. And then there was an SOS single all of a sudden, despite the fact that there were no messages from her for a while. And so he was one of the 2 people chosen to go up from one country, and then the other country, because there's only 2 countries left. The other country, there seems to be like some fighting, and yeah, it seems like Ambrose's side views the other guy's side as more like barbarian, and then that side views Ambrose's side as more like princes and princelings and like all this stuff, which is low-key accurate, but like from what I understand, from Ambrose's POV. But to pay for the mission, both sides had to go and work together, but he doesn't remember this. So he's like, there's another guy and I don't remember anything, and there's some animosity. The other guy's like, I don't care that you're here, I'm not gonna have conversations with you, right? I'm gonna stay on my side, you're gonna stay on your side, we're gonna get the work we need to get done, and we're just gonna move on. And end of chapter 1 is the other guy being like, okay, I'm coming over, I guess we can hang out. So that's what's happening. If I had to label Ambrose, I'd say he's pan, because he doesn't care about gender. It is heavily hinted already that he's the type of person to sleep with anyone and everyone, and he thought he was popular at school because of this, or something around that, because he's just like a friendly guy that also happened to sleep with a bunch of people. And then he part of like the leaving is everyone from his school like left 1-minute messages for him, and so he was listening to them, and like a bunch of people who he was with previously just like say, I guess you're cool, and move on, and don't like bring up all these nice things he did. But he also recognizes all the nice things after he thinks of those things, that he also ghosted them, and so maybe they're still in love with him. Also, the AI on the ship has the voice of his mother initially, and he changes the voice to be the sexy male voice, because he doesn't want to hear his mother talking to him, right? And he's starting a friendship with the ship. I like that aspect. If one of my favorite things in AI, or not in AI, in sci-fi, is the ship having a personality, and like that type of thing. Either the ship or some type of AI having a personality. I like that aspect. Normally, that's all I've got to say. I have a migraine, so I'm not reading anymore. And it took a lot to read this. My inability to stop in the middle of the chapter is the only reason I read all of chapter 1. Because otherwise I would have stopped at like half an hour and okay. And with that, I'm gonna go probably watch YouTube. I'll update you tomorrow when I finish the book, because I will finish the book tomorrow. It's fine. It'll like take less than 3 hours. Hello, hi, there's a Bella, she wants my ice cream. Bella. Oh my god. I am 36% of the way through. It is like 8:30 p.m. No, it's just short of 9 p.m. on Sunday. And I'm strongly contemplating it. There's a possibility you won't see this. Actually, if I redo this whole entire vlog, then you will see this part as evidence of that me trying to read. I just sent a very long message to the fish complaining about the main character and why I'm not liking this book. Which is basically one giant aspect. I hinted at it yesterday in my update about how he's kind of a player. And doesn't recognize how people view him around that. And also that type of aspect is like normal to him. Like that's normal for him. But the other guy on the ship, his culture is very different, especially about sexuality. So, like, if he knew the things that this man's, is his name Ambrose? I don't know, is thinking about him, good God. Anyways, there's like a whole conspiracy that the AI of the ship, is like something weird's going on. They found what possibly is his blood on the ship, which has to do with his concussion and everything, or not concussion, coma and everything. There was like a weird message from his sister that they're trying to save. The message from Earth seemed like it was recorded and not like an actual talking back and forth type of thing. And so he sent like a test message back down. Basically, the only way that they could prove that it wasn't just like pre-recorded messages that they're sending for books or whatever, is by saying, what are you talking about? So like it's yeah, that's happening. The ship is like constantly falling apart. They're gonna die of cancer in like 10 years because the amount of radiation they've gotten from solar flares. The ship is being suspicious. I already said that, but like it's a lot, right? And they're trying to get there on time and all this stuff. And they've started up a friendship officially, but most of the book is literally the main character thinking about how hot this man's is and how he'd like to do this thing to this man, all the things he'd like to carnally do to this man. Which, like, I get it. I look at pictures of Henry Cavill, or I see Henry Cavill in movies, and I get it. My brain goes places. Henry Cavill's my constant example about this. Like, Henry Cavill, a very attractive man. But if I met Henry Cavill in real life, and I saw him working out mostly shirtless, and also I befriended him, I wouldn't be constantly thinking about what his skin would taste like if I licked it. Like, right? Like, that feels weird. Like, I feel like that's a little weird, especially since, one, the culture from where this other man comes from is actually not really normalized. And so, kind of gives coming on to him vibes, but also, on top of that, this is literally the only other person you're going to be talking to for a very long time, even longer if your sister is dead. Don't, like, that is the worst person you should be bang-a-langing. Thank you very much. Like, I don't, and it's just, it's annoying because, like, this is a life and death situation. We should not be, like, even the AI, it's like, makes jokes about using the oil for fixing doors, not for his personal time. Like, it's a lot, and I don't like it. I know I won't be finishing the series. Like, it's yeah. I think I have under 2 hours, just under 2 hours in row speed, so I'm gonna finish this bad boy. I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna push through the rest of it, and then update you in the morning what my thoughts were. Because I'm having an experience. I don't like this book, can you tell? Hello, hi. I'm filming over here for a change of scenery. I am really hungry and I want lunch. There's a mosquito way in front of me. I'm trying to ignore it. So me update fast. literally as soon as I sit down to update you, Ambrose, that's his name, and Kodiak is the other guy. Part 1 is a good chunk of the book. I think just under half the book or something like that. I didn't check when it reached part 2, but part 1 I did not like that much, if you couldn't tell from the last update. The issue I had was an issue throughout. But around the time of like mid part 2, you learn what's actually happening. Like there's a big cliffhanger at the end of part 1, and then you'll learn some things. It's around the general way I was expecting it to go. Like, it wasn't like a big surprise, big shocking reveal. I did like how it wasn't like waiting until the end of the book to tell you this big shocking reveal. Like, no, they tell you like in the middle of the book so that you can deal with the emotional aspect, and what the characters are going through in an emotional aspect with what that plot twist is. And I do like that, and I do see where he was going with that. And I think if Ambrose wasn't written the way he was, I think I would have enjoyed it. Which sounds so mean, because he got better, like, slightly. Like, once you get to the point where you recognize that Kodiak, like, the feelings are reciprocated, Kodiak also likes him, is into him, it's slightly better. There is one point where he's rubbing one out, thinking about Kodiak, and then Kodiak comes in, and then he continues to think about him after Kodiak's like, oops, sorry, and leaves. And I'm just like, no, that's just, that's so weird. Like, that's, no. Like, I'm just, like, there's a whole thing where past him leaves future him a secret message, hiding it from the AI in pornographic photos of warriors from Kodiak's people. And so that, knowing that Ambrose will look, he himself, future him, will look at that pornographic photos and videos of a man who looks similar to Kodiak, mostly shirtless, just doing things. And so he puts a secret message in there, knowing that, and that's just so weird. And I think the main I think if it was adult or new adult, it would slightly give me the ick anyways. But the fact that this is YA and they're 17 years old, actually I think Kodiak turned like 18 right before the book starts. So he's 18, he's 17. I'm not gonna go into depth about that, but that whole aspect of where it's YA and he's 17 and you know a lot about their sexual preferences. Like, in one of the secret messages he leaves himself, he tells him to randomly suck in Kodiak's fingers because he likes that. And I'm just here like, what? Like, this did not need to be in there. If it wasn't in there, I think I would have really enjoyed the book. It would have been 4 stars. I would have had a good time. The emotional impact would have hit me much harder. But instead, I was distracted, wondering when the next time Ambrose is going to think about doing very carnal things to Kodiak. And it really pulled me out of the story. And that's fine. That being said, I did notice what the attempt there was with the emotional impact that didn't hit me. And I did like the general story. I won't read the sequel when it comes out. When I labeled it as finished, I did learn that the sequel isn't even out. It's about their children, which is kind of how the book ends. I don't know. But I was wondering how they have children. Just explained at the end of the book. But like, I don't care enough. Obviously, yeah, like certain things that Kodiak does, or that one of them does for the other, in a like big gesture, end of your life type aspect, was really well done. I think if I just didn't find Ambrose's character so, I don't want to say insufferable because that's not the right word. Most of the time he's fine. It's just when those random moments happen where it just gave me the ick so bad, and I could not care half the time because of it. Because I was like, okay, cool, you're dying in each other's arms, but like also, are you gonna like bring up his dangling in like 5 minutes, because that could happen very easily. Anyways, the basic idea and the premise and the plot is in the story and what's going on there, I did really like. It's just that one aspect of Ambrose's character that I really couldn't handle. So I went with 3 stars. I'm moving on with my life. That was a wild experience that I lived through, and that's that. The next vlog is the finishing series vlog of June, but because it's June, it's all Pride Month. Or Pride Month, it's all gay books. Or gay series. So good times. I'm gonna fill the void that this book left me. I'm going to go fix whatever that book did to me and reread one of my favorite gay romances. So, goodbye, I guess, until the next video.